Hi, today we're going to be tying the Hot Arsed Cat's whisker. So the hook I have in the vise is Camazon B175 size 8, and I've got a 3.8mm bead on the end of it, just a gold plated brass bead. The thread I'm going to be using is UTC fluorescent chartreuse. So first of all, we catch on behind the bead, just build up a nice bit of thread to hold the bead in place. Just working back and forth, creating a nice taper. Hook's just a wee bit loose there, we'll tighten that up. There we go, that's not too bad. So we'll bring our thread down just to somewhere just past the point of the hook. There we go, just before it starts to bend and break off our waist. So for the tail, I'm going to, we seem to lost it. There we go, for the tail, I'm going to be using some white marabou, this stuff's vineyards. So just take a plume, strip off any of the shorter fibres at the bottom. What you want to be doing is pull off a couple of inches or so, just pull it all out, and then you can cut it or just rip it. I just rip it off the stalk. Just check any wee broke bits, get them pulled out. There we go. And again, for the length, you're talking at least twice the length of the hook. So that's maybe in around 2 1/4. So hold your fibres on top of the shank, a few loose turns, and then tighten down. Now, just checking we're happy with the length, it's not too bad. And then tight turns, bringing everything forward, just a few more just to hold everything nice and tight. Now, what I like to do here is take my scissors and don't trim it off square, trim it off at an angle. That's just when you're tying it all down, when you're tidying everything up, bringing everything forward, the body goes down in a taper. It'll make tying the fritz off at the end just a bit simpler. So we'll tidy up here, all those loose ends down in. Don't worry if you miss a few bits, we'll get them on the way back. And failing that, they're going to be covered by the fritz anyway. So just bring our thread back down to where we tied our tail in. Now for the first hackle, I'm going to be using some Vegas fritz from Blob and Buzzer. This is orange. It's like a fluorescent hot orange. So we tie in. You maybe just won't see it as well here, it's tied in on my side. So just a few turns of thread to secure it all down. And what we're going for is only about one turn. All you want is just a little bit of orange. Well, we'll maybe go for 2 in this one. Yeah, 2 turns of thread, or 2 turns of Vegas hackle. Tie it down in, trim off the excess. Now just with a finger and thumb, tease the fibres back a bit and tidy up. Again, don't worry if you don't coat all the, or cover all of the orange under the thread, it'll be covered by the fritz. So the next fritz we're going to be using is again from Blob and Buzzer, and it's their Atomic Apple, which is like a chartreuse lime green kind of colour. I really like it for my cat's whiskers, things like that. Nice and bright. So again, just strip off a little bit of the core. You don't need much, 2 or 3 mil, just enough to get it tied down in. And teasing all the orange fibres back so as none of them are tied in forward, and just secure your core in nice and tight and bring everything forward. Nice tight turns. So I find sometimes with the fritz it works better if you can wet it slightly just to get it peeled back, and you want to take your time doing this, nice and easy, always teasing everything back, trying not to trap any fibres of the fritz forward. There we go. It's quite bulky, so the tidier you can bring it forward, the easier it's going to be to get tied off at the end, create a nice head. You don't really need too many turns because, like I say, it's bulky. It moves up the hook shank quite quick. Right, take it nice and tight to behind the eye. These beads are recessed, so it should pull down inside the bead slightly. 3 or 4 turns over the top just to hold everything tight while I trim off my excess. Trim my fritz off. Now, to finish off her head, tease all the fibres back and just create a nice head. Just build the head in behind the bead, trying to make sure there's no fibres caught forward. There's one at the bottom, just is making me look a bit silly, but perseverance and we'll get there. There we go. That's not too bad there. There's a nice head. So varnish the fly now. Take my dubbing needle. Just open up my varnish here. Good big spot of varnish onto the needle. Run it up and down the thread. Pull our fibres back and wind it on. This will get the varnish right down in, and then nice and quick again pulling our fibres back so we don't catch anything below our whip finish. Half a dozen or so turns with a whip finish tool, and that's it. Trim off our thread. And here we have a Hot Arsed Cat's whisker. If you want, it's kind of out of camera there, but you can nip off the fibres of the tail with your finger and thumb, and that's not too bad there. Nice wee attractor pattern for rainbow trout, something different. A lot of the time I use a fly with an orange bead on, and I've sort of substituted it a few times for one at the tail, and it's worked quite well for me. Thanks a lot for watching.